Hey YouTube, recently we got enrolled in the popular investor program at etoro. So now we are a cadet popular investor and our journey as a fund manager on etoro starts. We also got this cool dashboard button and we are able to see a few more statistics on our etoro account. Let's click on that and let's take a look. So you get to see the number of copiers. You also get to see your progress. So everyone starts off as a cadet, and once you reach the rising star level, that is when you really start making money. You need at least 20 copiers to really fully experience the dashboard and to see more in-depth statistics. For the purpose of this video, I have created a watch list on the highest copied people on etoro. So I'm going to take a look at a few of them and we're going to see what makes them so popular on etoro. Let's do that. So the first popular investor that we're going to take a look at is this investor called Olivia Dan. He has about 8,750 plus copiers, and I think this is the highest number of copiers I have found so far on etoro. So let's take a look at his profile in more detail. So Olivier is from France. So he has been an FX trader for 10 years. He says this is a low risk strategy, aims for consistent positive returns with strict money management rules. My target is 1% per month. I do few trades per month. I monitor currency pairs all month to find the best entry. There is some management scaling position for perfect entry size. He recommends an amount of about 500 to get all his trades. He also has a website. And he has about 82,000 plus followers. And out of those followers, he has about, as mentioned, 8,700 plus copiers. And he's gained about 48 copiers in the last 7 days. So for me, Olivia Dan is not someone I would copy, or at least I think I would not at this stage. He is mainly an FX trader, and I'm mainly an equities long-term investor. But let's take a look at his stats. So at his stats page, we get to see his performance. So for 2019, his performance has not been that great compared to what the stock market in general has done overall. But you notice one thing about his performance. He has not had a single losing month ever since he started on etoro, it seems. So while his returns seem a little lower, they seem to be pretty consistent and pretty reliable. Last year was not a good year for the stock market, but he managed to pull out 18% performance last year, and the year before he did about 16%. So he seems like the Ray Dalio of etoro. Basically, he seems to have a very low risk and low return kind of strategy. But it seems to be popular. I mean, he has the highest number of copiers on etoro. Let's take a look at some other stats. Another remarkable thing about his performance is that he has one of the lowest risk profiles I've seen on etoro so far. He has a risk level of just 1. The lower the number, the lower your risk, basically. So let's see here in August, it reached a level of 5. but usually it's been quite low, and he manages more than 5 million in assets. This is the total amount of money that his copiers have allocated to him. His maximum drawdown for this year has been about nearly 8%. He's very profitable with his trades, 72% plus are profitable. He does about 10 trades per week. He holds them for about 4.5 days. So that's some information on Olivia Dan. Let's take a look at his portfolio. So he does some commodities as well, it seems. So he's selling all at the moment. Currency pair here and another currency pair. And he's also into Bitcoin a bit. So he's mostly holding cash right now. So, I mean, if you are interested in the currency market or even the commodity market, Olivia Danville seems to be someone who can be very reliable. So far, he's not had a losing month. He will have his losing month, I'm sure, someday. But he seems to be very consistent in adopting his low risk strategy. So the next popular investor we're going to take a look at is this investor called Jamaica Mond. So he is an elite popular investor, and the elite popular investor is basically the highest level on eToro, and you get the most money for being at that level. So let's take a look at his profile in more detail. So he's living in the United Kingdom at the moment. So he has achieved 30% average annual return since 2013. Quite an amazing feat. So that's clearly one of the reasons why he has become one of the most copied popular investors on eToro. So he analyzes trends in global markets, politics, technology, and society, and perform fundamental valuations, comparing the value of companies with their stock prices, and continuously managing the overall portfolio risk through hedging and diversification. He's a full-time professional investor, and I guess once you reach that level on eToro, you can afford to do it full-time. He has worked as a management consultant to some of the largest banks and tech companies in the world. So definitely has some good credentials, it seems. And of course, he has the performance to back it up as well. So he has about 107,000 plus followers, 7,800 copiers, and he has gained about 334 copiers in the last 7 days. So he's catching up with Olivia Danville. So let's take a look at his performance. So he hasn't had quite the unblemished record that Olivia Danville has had. He has some losing months, but his performance for 2019 is through the roof. He has done an amazing 42% this year. Last year was not a very good year for the stock market, and he underperformed the stock market. He did minus 12%. But the year before was an amazing year for him, and it seems that he has been able to do well consistently over the last few years. He started on eToro in 2013, and that's probably one of the reasons why he has built up such a large following on eToro, and he's one of the highest copied popular investors. His risk profile is higher, so it's about 4. That's where he seems to average. He's also managing about 5 million plus in assets, and his drawdown for the year has been about 14% plus. So this guy is more of an equities trader, and so it's probably someone I would consider copying if I was not investing on my own. So he does about 3 trades per week, and his average holding time is about 11.5 months. So he seems to be a relatively long-term investor as well, and so I like that. I like long-term investors because I think that is the best way to succeed in the market. Let's take a look at his portfolio. So he's also into commodities. In fact, that's his biggest position right now. He's buying oil. So he invests in a range of companies, it seems, some international companies. This one is listed in the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. Don't know about this company, but I do know about Facebook. Facebook is a big position for me in my Project 1 Million portfolio as well. Solar Edge Technologies, okay, Nintendo, Micron, NetEase, Amazon, Google, some familiar names, Apple, Louis Vuitton, LVMH is one stock that I'm looking at as well. BlackRock, Tesla, okay, seems to have a number of positions, some Bitcoin as well, and Nvidia. So his balance is only 3.2% right now. So it's mostly invested. So great performance this year, and quite a consistent performer it seems. The next popular investor we're going to take a look at with the highest number of copiers is this investor called Omar ET SP. So he is also an elite popular investor. Let's take a look at his bio. So, dear eTorianos, okay, my name is Omar. I'm 23 years old. I've been investing in eToro from March 2017. I've been training on financial markets for several years now, so quite a young investor. And I try to close every month with benefits, okay, close operations. I invest in the medium, long-term, weeks, currency pairs, indexes, raw materials, and stocks. So he seems like a mixture of Olivia Dan and Jeppe Kirkbonde. Currently have an average monthly benefit of 3 to 4%. Monthly, I make a report on the situation. If you're interested in copying me, minimum investment of $500. So let's take a look at his stats. So let's see how he has done so far this year. And he has done very well as well. He has done about 28% plus this year. And last year he did very well too. He did 30% plus. And 2017 was a blockbuster year for him. He did almost 500% that year. So, I mean, for me, if I see such a high return number, I get a little suspicious, because you probably have to use a lot of leverage to achieve those kind of returns. So he hasn't achieved those same kind of returns in the following years, so he may have revised his strategy a little, which probably will be a good thing if it's a safer strategy now. Let's take a look at his risk score. So his risk score is about 4, average to about 3. He has about 6,377 copiers, and he gained about 260 copiers in the last 7 days. And he also manages more than $5 million in assets under management. This year, his drawdown has been about nearly 19%. So it's quite profitable with his trades, about 71%. So it seems like mainly currencies. So he does about 5.55 trades per week. Doesn't hold it much, so not a long-term investor. Only holds it for about 1.5 months. Now let's take a look at his portfolio. So right now he's selling gold. He's selling this company called Lam Research. He's selling Apple. That hasn't been too good for him so far. That's one reason why I don't like short selling. It's not very fun, because even if I felt Apple was at a high valuation right now, I wouldn't want to short sell it, because it could go much higher, and I don't want to sustain those kind of losses. So yes, Target. Let's see what he's buying. He's buying Occidental Petroleum. Warren Buffett recently opened a small position in this as well. He's selling Microsoft as well. Not a very good move so far. Selling Sherwin-Williams. I can see why he's selling some of these stocks. I mean, they do seem a little on the high side of their valuations right now. He's selling the S&P 500 index and the Nasdaq 100 index. Not been good decisions so far. So that's one reason his December has probably not been so good. Whereas the market has had a very good December so far. He's mostly invested and he has about 8.6% in cash. So the final popular investor with the highest number of copiers I want to profile here would be this popular investor called Balance AM. His real name is Sergej Kovolonoks. I hope I pronounced that correctly. He's from Latvia. And that's the great thing about eToro. You have investors from all over the world. It truly is a global platform. So let's find out a little bit more about him. He's been working in the Swiss mutual fund as head of research for more than 9 years, managing big German and Swiss institutional money. He's very grateful for what he's learned. Okay, he handles a concentrated active portfolio, diversified around 10 to 15 stocks that exhibit robust business quality characteristics. So I like what I read here. I mean, I am also a proponent of having a concentrated portfolio, and I will also probably have about between 5 to 15 stocks. The risks are optimized by applying systematic principles to selection and allocation processes. Portfolio can go long and short at the same time. So I'm not a short seller, so I'm only a long-term investor. Minimum technical copy amount is about $200. The other thing I like about Balance AM is that he tends to post very educational information. Recently, he posted this graph about the fear index and how we are at extreme greed, it seems, or nearer to extreme greed right now. Let's take a look at his performance this year. So how has his performance been? Okay, so performance been not too bad, 25%, slightly underperforming the S&P 500, so not a great year for him. But last year he handily beat the S&P 500. He did about 14%, while the S&P 500 was about minus 4% last year. And 2017 he did pretty well as too. So very positive returns over the years. Pretty steady and it seems pretty reliable. So let's take a look at his risk score. He's about 3. I wouldn't consider 3 a very high risk score. So 3 seems about the average actually. So he has about 5,009 copiers. He's gained about 161 copiers in the last 7 days. And so he manages about 2 million to 5 million in assets under management. His yearly drawdown has been very low. It's only been about 4.26%. It seems quite profitable with his trades. About 75% have been profitable. So he seems more of an equities trader. He invests in companies. So he does about 4.32 trades per week, but his holding time doesn't seem very long. It seems like it's 1.5 months only. So it seems like a trader more than a long-term investor to me. Let's take a look at his portfolio. So he's buying this company called Gold Barrick, probably a play on gold. So he's selling a few companies here. Okay, some very obscure companies, not companies that I'm very familiar with. He's buying Dell, it seems. Okay, Booking, I know I have that in my Project 1 million portfolio as well. Okay, so not many stocks, so he is being true to his strategy of being concentrated. Yeah, he has about nearly 40% in cash right now. So that is a look at some of the most popular investors on eToro with the highest number of copiers. So I've been also posting regularly on my eToro feed. So I post about articles that I read. And you can check out my eToro feed if you're interested to follow what I'm reading or what I'm interested in. Let's also take a look at our stats so far. So we only started in October. So far it's pretty decent. All months have been positive. December is positive for now. But my goal really is not just to have a positive month. I mean, our goal is really to outperform and beat the stock market over the long term. So I won't hesitate to buy stocks that I see, trading at a good price. And they might go down a little more, but I won't budge. I mean, I want to buy high quality companies for the long term and let them compound. Right now, I'm having a little difficulty in finding more high quality stocks to own. So I am mostly in cash for my eToro portfolio. But as soon as market valuations come down a little, I am very eager to start deploying more cash. I'm not trying to time the market, but I just need to feel a little bit more comfortable in deploying the cash. So that's it for this video. I hope you found it useful. I hope you're getting excited about eToro. I'm certainly getting more excited about eToro. I would suggest start with a small amount, play around with the platform, copy a few popular investors. You could even copy me if you're keen to follow my portfolio. So before you join eToro, remember to use my link because you get an extra $50 if you use my link. And if you're interested to know where the link is, you can go over to any of my recent videos and you can click on the link to copy me if that's your intention, or if you just want to open the account, you can click on this link to open the account. And just make sure you read the T's and C's. You got to open and close your first trade, and you got to be from a participating country, and then you get that $50. And if you're not from a participating country, you can use this link to open your eToro account. Feel free to contact me if you have any issues with opening up your eToro account. I'll be more than happy to help. So thank you for watching this video. Please drop a like, it means a lot to me. Please comment and provide your feedback. I find it very useful in deciding what kind of content I should produce on this channel. And share the video for people who might find it interesting as well. So thank you and have a great day.